Hi rock stars, this is Beth Azor. I wrote a book called The Retail Leasing Playbook. This podcast will go over a few chapters each week to discuss the highlights of how you can lower your vacancy and increase your occupancy. I hope you enjoy it. Today we are on chapter 67, only a few chapters till the end of the book. Hope you made it all the way through. The title of this chapter is Always Personalize Your Marketing When Pitching a National. By now you guys have heard this until you're probably blue in the face, but again, the number one question I get from all of you is how do we get in connection and with national retailers and how do we get them to call us back? We do it by customizing, personalizing when we're reaching out to these national retailers. So understanding that, what your target nationals requirements are, what is their width and their frontage, their dimensions, what are their demographics. Don't send, if you are pitching, and I hate that word, but if you are proposing your site and it's a very high income neighborhood, you're not going to propose that site to a check cashing store that likes to go into low income neighborhoods. If you have a shopping center that the demographic is over 70, you shouldn't be pitching your site to a daycare. So put some thought into it so that the retailers, the national retailers, understand that you are intelligent and that you've done your homework. Don't send a 5,000 square foot space to an 80,000 square foot prospect. I hope you're laughing out loud by listening to this. I literally heard from a national furniture store last week where a leasing agent said, my friend's name is, I'm going to change names to protect the innocent, but let's say my friend's name was Harry. The email from the leasing agent said, Dear John, and then they said, would your furniture, Jones Furniture, and my friend's furniture store was Smith Furniture. So said the wrong name in the email, said the wrong furniture company, and then sent him a site, a 2,000 square foot site in a major downtown city market. And my friend does 40,000 square foot stores. So that's the quickest way for the national retailer, the real estate manager, to block you. So if you have a CAD of the space, you can send it, or you can tell them in the email you have a CAD if they have further interest, right? So don't expect them to do the work for you. And absolutely, and I've said this in other podcasts and other social media posts, make sure you put the address and the city and the state either in the subject line. You don't need to put the address in the subject line, but in the subject line, you should put the city and the state, and make sure you put the address in the email, because many times nationals just plug them into the system to see the distance to their other locations, and they've got tools to determine if they will dilute their other stores. So that is chapter 67. Again, I'm harping a little bit the last few chapters, but customize, customize, customize. And, here's an exercise. Sometimes you all say, well, we don't have time to do that. We don't have time to do all this extra work, Beth. It's just easier to do an email blast. Well, what I want you to do is think about how many deals did I do last year? In the last 12-month cycle, how many deals did I do? So let's say you did, the average is, let's say 15. And of the 15, how many nationals did you do? And let's say it's 5. So let's say you had to reach out to 50 nationals to get those 5 deals, okay? So, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's 100 nationals, okay? Let's say it's 100 nationals. Well, if you reach out to 100 nationals, that's 2 packages a week. So don't tell me you don't have time. If I have time to do a package, a customized package like this, I challenge you that you also have the time. And once you start seeing the results of how fast the retailer gets back to you, I think that you will agree with me that this is the only way to do it. Happy leasing. Thank you for listening to this week's podcast. I hope you learned a few nuggets to help increase occupancy and lower vacancy. See you next week, where we'll go over a few more chapters of my book, The Retail Leasing Playbook.